and then we just plunge the blade in. Hey guys, Brad here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dewalt Biscuit joiner. I have two of them right here, and I'm going to tell you why I have two, and it's not for cabinetry reasons. I use this for decking, and I'm going to explain to you what decking I use it for and the applications and all that kind of stuff. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, and make sure you give me a thumbs up because it really does help out the channel. So let's take a look at the kit here. This is the box they give you. It's quite small, which is nice, but you gotta remember how this thing fits in here because it won't close if you have the dust bag in the wrong spot. So I find it a little annoying, but luckily I don't use this tool all that much, except for on certain types of deck jobs. So they give you a dust bag, which is okay. It's got a metal frame inside of it. It does collect the dust, some of it, not all of it, but some of it. So if you really wanted to, you could hook a vacuum up to this tool. And they give you some different connections here for our vacuum. Let's take a look at it. So this piece slides into this dust port right here and locks in. And you can hook your vacuum right into it, or you can put your dust bag on there. They also have this other port which hooks in. Oops, I'm doing it wrong. Actually, to be honest, I've never even used this port. Interesting. Never even use it. So there we go. Goes in there like this, so it shoots it down or up and it rotates. But I've never used this one, like I said. That's why I was a little confused. And that's very stiff to get in and out. We're going to use this one. So there's a few adjustments on this. The side right here, turn this little knob and this lowers your plate. And if you're not familiar what biscuits are, they look like this. They're little pieces of wood. All right, and they're used for joinery. Now, these are not as strong as, say, Festool's domino. I use the dominoes more for a structural connection, like if you're doing joinery for tables and things like that. I would not recommend using biscuits for, tabletops. They're just not strong enough. What they are good for, though, is like miter joints. If you're putting things like this, if you needed to connect this piece of wood right here, or a miter, or just two pieces like this. But again, they're not super strong, so you will be able to snap this apart. So I honestly never use this tool for really what its purpose is. I just have these biscuits from a long time ago, and this tool will cut number 0. That's these biscuits. They're pretty small. It's the smallest ones. And then there's a number 10 and a number 20. So to give you an idea, when you're cutting with this tool into a board, and it'll give a groove kind of like this right here. When you're cutting into that, if you set the dial, which is right here on the back, and you want to line it up with this little line here, if you set it to 0, which is for this biscuit, that's what it corresponds with, then you'll be going 1/4 inch deep into your material. If you set it at 10, then you're going in 3/8 of an inch deep. And if you set it at 20, you're going in 1/2 inch deep. And so each biscuit's going to be a little bit larger. And then it has a manual part right there, which I've never used, but I think that just means the blade will go in as deep as it possibly can, and you can just sort of make the groove as wide as you want, obviously corresponding with the size of the blade on the tool. Now, this thing weighs about 6.6 pounds. It's got a 6.5 amp motor on it. The blades are carbide tipped, and these things are usually around 300 bucks Canadian, 320. I bought these on sale. I think I picked them up for like 150 bucks or 170 bucks. They're on a serious clearance, so I picked them up. So when you are using these, usually you'll just put a line right there, and we want to join this piece. So we'll put a line like this, let's say. And then you want to line up the tool right on your line. And it has these markings here, here, and here. So if you've got a straight line going through, you can mark this tool exactly where it needs to be. Now for the height, that's set on the side here. So you undo this piece right here, and then you can adjust this up and down. And we can do that, just, I'll show you here, like this. And then you can move this plate up and down, and there's markings on the side here. Okay, so we're gonna set this to about 1/2 inch, because these boards are 15/16, so just shy of 1 inch thick. All right, and if you're wondering what kind of wood this is IPE wood or Batu wood. This was from a deck that we did, and I'm just going to show you how we would connect it with one of these biscuits, but then I'm going to show you the real purpose why I got these tools for decking. It's not what you think. Okay, so I'm going to put my ears in, we're going to plug this in and get going here. These tools are really handy if you're doing any kind of joinery, like a lot of trim work, casing, stuff like that. If you want to have just a stronger joint, they're really good for that. So I'm just going to connect this dust port like so. Now you line the work up. You kind of want to hold it with your hand. I put my thumb up here on top, just kind of putting pressure down on the plate. You can see I'm now off the table here, so I can move. And we pull the trigger down, and then we just plunge the blade in. And that left us a groove. And I'm on manual there. I should have had it on 0, but we'll just go with it. So you can see the difference. That's a 0 groove, and this is a number or manual. So you add glue, you put it on the surface, then you slide your little biscuit in there. And they do fit quite tight. Okay, I'm just going to knock it in. And then you would put these together like so. And then you would clamp it, and then that's your joint. So that's kind of the basics, very, very basics of biscuit joinery. Again, I like to use the Festool Domino a lot more. I just find them more accurate. There's less slop, and they're a lot stronger connection. And maybe what we'll do is a comparison of the two in another video, and I can kind of show you some more joinery and joints and all that kind of stuff. But what we actually use these tools for is the clips for the deck. So here's an IPE box of clips. It gives you a 3/32 gap. So this is what the clip looks like. And the way it works is use the domino to make a groove. Then you slide the clip in like so. And then you take your next board and you put it in there like that. And that's our 3/32 groove. So underneath this clip, this is where our joist would be, and we screw down, and you pre-drill and you screw with these stainless steel screws on a 45-degree angle, and that's how this system works. Now let me tell you, these are not my favorite clips. They are recommended to me, but they take forever. And I think I'm going to start using maybe Tiger Claw. They do leave a little bit larger gap, but it's just a lot quicker when you're doing decking. And I mean, it also depends on the client and the job, what kind of gap they want to have. The idea, I know I'm going to get off topic here, but the idea behind these clips essentially is that when you're screwing through the wood as well, holding the wood down to the joists. And that's supposed to prevent these boards from cupping, because this is natural hardwood. But I have an issue with that because these clips are so skinny and they have metal inside of them with basically a plastic over top. These are really easy to bend. You'd be, probably pretty shocked to see how easily we can bend these. And when you're decking and you slide this piece on, even though I've screwed the first one down, and then I do the next board. Now this slots off on a different area, but imagine it's all in line. Okay, the back side of this board is not screwed down. It's screwed this way, but not this way. So now I would screw this one and then carry on. I think personally that these clips are just not strong enough compared to like a Tiger Claw clip, which is a lot thicker steel. And the whole idea of having to screw these down, it's just so time consuming. I mean, it is huge. And I'll do a video just on these clips showing this and the difference between Tiger Claw and all that. I know I'm way off topic, but this is why I bought this tool, was because our deck did not have a border on it, and a lot of decks do. They have like a border around sort of the deck boards if you're like that. Now normally if I had a border, I would just run these through a router table and get my groove all the way through. But because we weren't doing a border on this specific deck, I couldn't run it through a router table because we were going to see this end. And it would look really, really ugly if you had this groove on both sides of the board, okay, and you could see it. So we were sort of forced to use this method, and this method's great, but we had to get two of them just to sort of mass produce this whole deck and get it done in a timely fashion. Otherwise it would take days to do these grooves. You can just imagine, a regular sized deck, how many of these we'd have to do. And it was painful. So, depending on the next deck I do, I'm going to push for the Tiger Claw clips. They do say they work with hardwood and, exotic woods and all that. So stay tuned. I will be doing a video on that. Overall though, this is a really cool tool if you're doing joinery. But my honest opinion, if you're looking for joinery for tables, don't buy this. Look more into the Festool Domino system. It's just far superior to this tool. So this is just my honest thoughts. But again, really, really great if you just need to do miters for casing, things like that don't require really, really strong connections, because like I said, these will snap out. They can break. See, I just broke a little bit of the biscuit off right there. See, they're very, very brittle in my opinion. All right guys, so that's basically all I have to say about the tool. It's a really good tool. They're affordable. They're not going to break the bank. Like I said, you can probably pick them up between $300 and $200 at Home Depot or on Amazon. And they do get the job done. So it's really good if you're a carpenter and you just need to sort of, get some sort of joinery tool. This is great. Opposed to the Festool Domino, I should say. That thing is some serious money, and you're gonna, if you're buying that, you're doing a lot of joinery. So there we go, guys. I want to hear some comments. Please subscribe, hit that notify bell, give me a thumbs up. Till next time, keep on crushing it. We'll catch you later.